Yeah, I've given up on my teenager nieces and nephews. Like, well, here's a gift card.
It is 8:30. We are in session this morning with the prosecuting attorney's office for our weekly update. We have Kevin and Rebecca. Welcome. We have Danny online. Rob is going to call in, or Rob actually said he was going to be here. So, okay. Well, I guess it's just 4 of us and a few others here.
Rob said something about having a trailer delivered, so he didn't know what time he would be in.
And he said yesterday it got delivered last night, so, or yesterday afternoon.
Okay.
All right.
I don't have anything particularly this week.
We're moving ahead. We had our meeting with the Coverage Council for the
Oh, that's right.
landfill yesterday.
Okay.
So we're moving ahead on that project. I don't know if there's anything really remarkable that came of that, but.
Not really.
Yeah.
We're just kind of waiting for him to get back to us with.
Yeah, he's taking a look at everything and seeing where we're at. Other than that,
I don't have anything.
yeah, it's pretty quiet. It's the holidays, so it's been fairly quiet. Yeah.
I like it when it's quiet. Okay, we did a budget extension. We put some revenue in our budget for payroll increases, new employees, but it's not necessarily in the budget. We're splitting around in there, not tied to your budget. So you should have gotten a letter, I think Decorah was gonna send something out. And just to kind of let everybody know, even though the budget is adopted, don't go hire new people.
Can I fill my positions that I have or?
Yeah,
Okay.
currently that you have, but
Yeah.
I know you had an increase in those.
No, I didn't have an increase in positions.
Oh, I thought you had a financial increase.
Yes, but that was for salaries, not new
Okay.
positions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Salary, so that's
Yeah.
still on hold.
Okay.
That being said, we are going to need to ask for FTE for the interns.
Yeah, we'll work with HR. So HR, basically what I've been doing interns, but what I've been doing is just putting them into attorney slots.
Okay.
Because I had open attorney slots, why not?
Okay.
HR is telling me I can't do that, so we're gonna have to create FTE positions for interns.
Okay.
But we'll see how the budget works out. There's also state money we can get for some interns that we're working on. So that's kind of out there still, but haven't really finalized it yet.
Okay, so we should get it nailed down in
Yeah,
January or February. Kind
Yeah.
of what increases, what the ask was, what employees.
okay.
I don't want to say the budget process was a little chaotic this year,
But
but
yeah,
it was. We just didn't get the numbers
Mhm.
from, between Missy and Daryl, and then it was not concrete. We were bouncing around trying to get numbers.
okay.
I thought I had a question though, and I don't have it written down. Danny, do you remember the question we had? I thought we had a question.
No, I have another one, but I don't know what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
I'm
Not either.
we're discussing a little bit about the ARPA thing. Rebecca, I appreciate you suggesting we might use an if-then kind of a statement when we do some sort of a letter about the money coming back that we perceive and believe is coming back from Moses Lake. And yet, did you see the email that Carrie has emailed Treasury about some clarification, and they have elevated it to a priority of some sort. So I appreciate your help on that. That will help us get a statement together.
Clarify, Danny, that if-then statement was a recommendation for if you are looking to reallocate the funds that potentially come back from Moses Lake. That was, so in
Yes.
your ARPA meeting. So that was what that was.
Yes, we will. Yeah, I understood that. Yeah, that what we want to do is we want to pre-allocate with an if-then statement based on the belief that it should be coming back. And so if it does, then we allocate it to this project.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Got it. Well, thank you. That was a lot of help, and we'll try to move forward and try to be as accurate as we can with this final allotment
Okay.
or allocation, I should use. Yeah.
Okay, well, and this may be a really short meeting, so it's 8:35. Right? I had something, but obviously, for everybody, it's for everybody else, not. Any questions?
Sorry, Cindy. I don't have my notes with me to help you out on that one. I think you're right. There was something else I wanted to throw their direction.
I think it was
But like
HR
I
for
said, I've
the
got my notes, you know.
travel policy. So, some other things, so, anyway, well, it's 9:36.
Hey,
Almost.
yeah, that's what we wanted to discuss. Um, you guys are wanting to put forward that policy on that you presented about archiving and keeping track of data
Right.
over a long period of time. Is that what you're mentioning, Cindy? Yeah.
No, this
I
is
don't see
the
any
travel
problem with what you
policy.
presented. I think I gave you,
This is travel policy 1200 that we
oh, no, I was
adopted in
talking,
like July of 2023. I went to go reference it yesterday because of a question. And I couldn't, it's just not posted, so it would be nice if we could get that posted. And that apparently.
My understanding
HR.
that, yeah, HR was going to be working on that because there was some issues with it. And then I haven't heard anything further.
So that's the question, but it's for HR.
And Danny, you were mentioning the IT policy as well?
yeah, honestly, yeah, before we go there though, honestly, that should not have taken very long because it was simply changing 30 days to 45 days on the travel policy, you know. It was, I don't understand where we got sideways. Um, yeah, is that in front of us and sent this week? I
The
read
travel
through
policy?
that and thought it was good uh, quite a while ago.
You
No,
mean
I'm
the IT
talking
policy
now
or?
about this archiving of emails and stuff, the policy that, what'd you say?
Yes, okay. Yes, I had presented that quite a while ago because I wanted to get it.
Say that again, Kevin.
I had presented the retention policy over a year ago because I wanted everybody to have a chance to adapt to it and save anything they needed saving before we implemented it. So now it's time to implement it. So yeah, as far as I know, it should be good. I've given it out. I've sent it out to all the department heads at least twice.
Probably want to send out one more time before you actually implement, like,
Well,
okay,
yeah.
here's
This is
where,
Yeah, here's the policy. Here's what's happening.
in a week, we are implementing.
Yep. So everybody's had plenty of warning.
It's going in January?
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as you approve it, yeah.
You just
So-
said in a week, I'm like, that,
2
start the
weeks.
new year.
Yeah, start the new year.
And
Yes, as soon as it gets approved, I will send out an email to everybody.
it came in front of my face just recently, so I was sorry. I think there's a real delay in my conversation. I take a blank spot, try to talk, and, and then you guys don't hear me for a while.
Kevin, if I remember right, you were waiting for the board to review it as well, and you were going to put it on consent at one point because they haven't had it formally to adopt yet.
Okay, I gave it to, you told me to give it to HR.
They brought it
Okay.
to us last week.
Okay, so I thought HR was gonna put it on consent. Am I wrong on that?
Oh, okay. I will ask HR when that will be coming before the board.
Yeah, that was my understanding. If I'm wrong, I'm happy to do it.
Gotcha. I'll reach out to Decora right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, and we had quite the HR update last week, so we didn't get through our entire list. Okay, well, if that is it, it's 8:39. It's 8:40, we are in recess until 9 o'clock and we meet with Swahil.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Good morning, it's 9 o'clock, we're here with Swahil for our monthly update. You can come down here so you're not by yourself.
Morning.
Good morning.
All right, so just gonna go over my report. The financial in November 2024, Chelan provided care for 24 of our kiddos of Brown County, totaling 226 care days, and the ADP was 7.53. The total cost for that month was 39,155. Last year, we actually had 30 with 293 days of care, resulting of an ADP of 9.77, and the total cost was 48,345. So those are our stats for the month. And for right now, as to intakes, we actually only have 2 juveniles in our facility right now. One of them was charged with murder in the 2nd degree, assault in the 1st degree, and drive-by shooting, and he has been with us for 159
Oh, this is the one
days.
that's been, okay.
Mhm. Yes, but only 2, like, we only have 2 now. So the second one is charged with unlawful possession of firearm and trespassing on the 2nd degree, and he has been with us 122 days, and both of them have imposed bail. So as you can tell on the next page, our juvenile intakes for December, so far, we had only had 4 intakes. And in November, we had 23 intakes, so total of the, for the whole year up to date is 190 intakes. And as you can tell on the graphic, next graphic, like I was saying before, most of our intakes are during after hours. But during this December, it was backwards, and we actually had 3 intakes during business hours and 1 after hours.
Because it's cold.
Mhm.
They don't want to stay out, it's cold and dark.
Yes, yes, they do. And then those intakes, the 3 intakes, I think 2 of them came from court, so that's the reason why. And then for the offender unit, we currently have 233 cases, and 119 fall under the category of diversion. For the truancy, I know that the court system is back up and running, but some of the reports are still not working, and we get our reports from truancy for the bid report, so that one is still not working. So I'm doing the reference when we last pulled the data, that was October 10th, and I'm giving you guys some of the data that we have. The only thing that I do have to say right now is, like, I have to highlight that we have had a significant number of dismissals from the Moses Lake School District since last pulled the data. So as soon as I have the bid report available to us, I will make sure I give you an update report for the truancy unit. And for my dependency unit, we have a total of 160 active cases. Among these, 109 are assigned to staff, 46 cases are delegated to volunteers, and 5 cases are actively monitored by attorneys. Those were, we just look at them, we don't really do a whole lot with them unless something goes wrong, and then, one of the guardian ad litem can step in and help out. With Chelan, I submitted the executed Chelan contract for our records on Friday, December 13th. So we have a contract with them until 2030 now. And for administration, as I was mentioned, we submitted our budget extension to accounting on October 3rd. Following the submission, we reached out to Mandy 3 times to follow up via email and then also over the phone. And as of yesterday, I reached out to Barb, and we still don't have any of the paperwork for us for budget extension.
Okay.
So
I'm just looking at the clock, yeah, there's,
enough time for,
yeah, and I reached out to Mandy on that. Let me just check my emails to see if she responded.
Okay. So that was one of my concerns, just as to the budget extension for us.
Okay, no, I'm not seeing it.
Okay. And we did submit it early in October 3rd, but nothing has
Okay.
happened yet. So that's one of the things that I'm really worried about. But other than that,
And like I said, it does fall under current expense, so current expense is under as a whole, even though we try to, like, the commissioner's budget, we
Yeah.
try to keep them.
well, if I can have a follow-up, I will try to reach out to as
Okay.
well and hopefully.
And I
she
sent
will
an
be
email,
able
I
to send the
CC'd you
email.
on it, so
Yes.
hopefully,
Other than that, that's the only need for my department, I guess, for administration as to the budget extension that we submitted a while ago, so. Any
Okay.
questions for you guys?
any questions? I don't think Danny is even on, so we have one.
Danny is on. He's backstage. I've been trying to move him to the webinar this time. I think we're just having some technical problems.
Okay. Danny, do you have any questions?
No, I was just wanting to talk about the budget extension as well. I heard you going over that while I was backstage. So
Okay. So we'll wait for it to hear from Mandy.
I'm another thing, Sohail. I'm sorry I'm not able to be involved in the Christmas party this year.
Yes, no.
Yeah, Danny, we cannot hear you. We lost you.
Oh. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I was just saying, Sohail, I'm just sorry I can't be involved in the Christmas party this year. I apologize.
Oh, don't worry. Thank you, Danny. And the Christmas party, I was just gonna give you guys a quick update. It went really good. We had a good turnout and we were able to deliver most of our pillowcases to all of the children in foster care. We just have a few that the staff are gonna make sure that, they get the pillowcases before Christmas. But it was really good. Thank you though for letting me know that you weren't able to make it. You're still gonna get invitations, just so you know.
Good job.
Well, good deal. Okay, well, with that, and I don't believe Rob is joined unless he's in backstage too. It is 9:07 and we are in recess until 10 o'clock.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Before we go into recess, Barbara, Caitlin, do you mind reaching out to Rob and seeing if he will be for the 10 o'clock? Otherwise, we'll need to cancel that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I will
because
reach out.
I'll be in the ribbon cutting.
Okay, so possibly, we may have a 10 o'clock, we may not. So we'll, I guess I'll open the meeting at 10 and let everybody know what's going on. Okay. Have a great morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, Swahil.
Maybe he's,
Good morning, it's 10 o'clock. We are here with Jim McKiernan. Is Rob on?
Not yet. He did say that he was going to log on.
Okay, we'll give it a few minutes.
I was hoping he'd be here.
Well, he was supposed to. Do you know, is he coming or is he logging on?
He is logging on. He's on right now.
Okay. Yeah. All right, we're down a minute with you.
This shouldn't take very long.
Okay, I'm signing off, so I'm not seeing you yet. I just want to make sure.
We'll wait till he's on.
If I can send you sit here.
You can sit down here too. You don't have to worry about anybody coming in.
Hey Jim, how are you?
Good, how are you?
We are good to go. Thank you, Rob, for logging on so we can continue today.
Yeah, sorry.
So I honestly, I don't have much. We only have November or October's numbers, which is kind of a little bit disappointing, but I know we posted some final Flannel Fest revenue in November, and the other thing that was missing is we have $183,000 in LTAC grants that will be hitting the books in December. So if looking at the expense reports, the second page, sorry, of the expenses, we're at 266 with 428,000, so we're at 86% of our expenses, which, remember, the difference between previous year and current year is Tom Gaines' expenses are all in there, so we're gonna come out very close to budget.
So will you get LTAC this year?
Yeah, it'll be in December.
Okay.
I sent Madeline a note from the city of Moses Lake to make sure that we were getting that funding.
Okay.
So, and then Mandy and Caitlin are working on making sure, I know Mandy's got it to transfer it to our budget too, and it's 183,000 total.
Okay.
Which will be quite a bit. On the revenue side, we're ahead of last year. We're at what's weird is we're at 86% in expenses and 86% in revenue, but we will get that big bump it'll come in under grants local on the very first page of the revenue report, which is the very top one. So it's
No, look, what is
office supplies and stationery.
oh, stationery, okay, I'm like,
Yeah, I've got a few categories that are over and then I've got a few that are under, and I think that's what Mandy goes through and fixes all that stuff at the end of the year.
I don't think we have to, I believe, I could be wrong, every accountant does it a little differently, as long as your bottom line isn't over. You can be over in a column, one of
In a
these.
category.
Yeah. They don't necessarily, but again, every accountant
Does it
likes to see
differently, yeah.
things a little different.
Yeah, and part of it is too, we with, I think, Mandy's first year, we also had some stuff go into the wrong buckets and we had some errors. And so I know Darcy has been working really closely with Mandy and Carrie from Daryl's office to make sure things get in the right buckets. But overall, we're about where we should be for the year. And then on the revenue side,
Guess I'm like bouncing around. What page do you want me on? I'll follow it with you.
just on page 1,
Okay,
we're at 1.8 million basically, and we're at 86%. But the one category that's really gonna bump up is, let's see, on this one here is, this number here will go,
Okay.
grants local will go up by 183,000.
okay, and this is the, right over here with the,
Yep.
Okay.
So, I feel pretty good about where we're at on all of our revenue. We obviously did take a little bit more of a hit in 9703 on revenue due to fare ticketing, but yeah, that's part of.
what was the last you?
So if you look at the fourth page, that's the fare revenue.
Okay, here it is highlighted. Okay,
We still did really well, but not as,
could have been better.
it could have been better with tickets in a couple of categories there, just because of the shooting, we made Saturday free. And that did impact us. And also our carnival receipts probably weren't as high as they should have been. If you see, we expected 190,000 and we only got 178,000 in carnival receipts.
Well, and the exit strategy, because it kept everybody in the parking lot, which created some.
And you and my wife were out there directing
just,
traffic,
it's
yeah.
almost like they just get them out and turn them, and there was really no need. You could have stopped at any time for the ambulance, but
Yeah,
it's almost like we need an ambulance, like an emergency route that is
well, I
not.
almost think we need to have them put, and maybe we talked to Public Works about putting those plastic posts in the middle so that people can't turn left, they have to turn right coming out of the parking
Okay.
lot.
That would definitely,
Cause if they turned right, you wouldn't have had that big issues that you guys had.
yeah. No, and maybe we need to do that, and then they'll know when when I leave, I'm not gonna be able to turn, I'm gonna have to, I wanna park in this parking lot, yeah.
Yeah,
It would definitely just keep the flow.
and probably we weren't the smartest and when that was happening, I know you guys went to the parking lot and then Rob and I went down. I don't know if we should have gone quite so quickly down to the Southfield area while people were running, but we were trying to figure out what the heck was happening. Joey did say next year, during fair, he's gonna let me have a police radio. I can't talk on it, but at least I can hear
You
what's
can hear what's going
happening.
on.
Yeah, cause I had no clue what was happening.
Yeah, the state patrol showed up, but they were gonna assess the situation, and when Joey said, no, it looks good, so like, I need help parking, so then they left to go.
Did they help with parking at the?
Yeah, I think the traffic down by,
At 17?
Yeah.
By the gas
So-
station and stuff.
but yeah, that was, I mean, not that, and people understood the situation, but when they were in the car, you know, for like 2 hours, whatever it was, you know, just trying to get, I mean, some of them were in there for a long time, I don't know if it was 2 hour and a half.
It was a good thing we had those
And-
Santa cans right by the gate, on the purple gate.
Oh, gosh,
I
but
think-
yeah, it was one of, that's where the irritation of people.
Yeah,
They just let them out free and let them quickly go home and
Yeah.
all will be well.
I feel good about our plans for next year, so.
Okay.
I am still gonna, I know I submitted, budget for, and I know the BOCC's holding that budget for an additional staff person.
We should discuss that. I think we set an appointment or a calendar appointment for January. Start working on that.
Ours is an event person, so a supplement to Ken and Lori.
Okay.
We're almost to the point of having, we're saying on some weekends, we're just saying, no, we can't take on another event, even though we might have space to do another event, just because we don't have the staff to turn the buildings fast enough. And that's a bummer. The MLI already went pretty well. Did you go down there, Rob?
What's the MLI party?
Mosaic Industries had their,
Yeah, I went to it. It was cool. I just went and saw Joey, and it was a cool layout. It was pretty.
Oh, I thought it was great. Audie, I don't know Audie's last name now, but it used to be Audie Hall. And Joey's wife did a lot of the decorating, Joey Creed's wife, and oh my gosh, they did this 80s blacklight party.
Oh, wow.
They had black lights everywhere and the glowing stuff, it was really cool.
Cool.
Our new campground software's going okay. That's through Good Sam's. They're actually changing their fee structure a little bit. It's just gonna be $1 per transaction, where before it was, it was $1 per transaction. Now it's just gonna be a flat monthly fee, which is gonna benefit us. It'll be less for us to have the software. We have the dirt school next month in January. Lori and Ken are going to the dirt school part. I'm going to the symposium part. There is a new requirement from the USDA to do reporting of equine event activities. And they're holding the ability to inspect the horses during an event. And so what this is, I guess, is they're watching for any horses that may have injuries of some type, yet people are still running them. And so we're gonna send out notice to everybody that, hey, just be aware that you do need to report to the USDA that your event's coming up. We plan to report all of the events. And don't be surprised if a state vet shows up at those events. I can't remember the name of the new rule, but it took effect on November 1st. So that'll be interesting to see. And one of the things about going to the symposium will be seeing how that is affecting other facilities, talking to other people to see how they're dealing with that.
Oh, it's not just a Washington Department of Ag,
No,
it's,
the whole,
okay.
it's a federal rule.
okay.
I hope it doesn't get so bad, cause you know, they're trying to
Well, 'cause
eliminate rodeos in California. And so I'm hoping this isn't a
they're
precursor.
trying to get rid of football too, but we'll see how
Yeah,
that
it's
goes.
ridiculous. I really wanted you to see the booth rebuild plan, Rob. I'll email that to you if I didn't already for the Azars booth. That's one of our winter projects. We're working on our YouTube studio, which we already have 2 people that are interested in renting it.
What's a YouTube studio?
That's so we can do, sorry about that. So we can do podcasts.
Okay,
We're gonna do video podcasts, so our goal would be to interview exhibitors, fair advisory committee members,
Okay.
commissioners, superintendents, farmers, you know, to come in and talk about how important fair is and the ag community. And it's not super expensive to set it up either. It's pretty cheap. youth buildings getting storage racks and some cleanup. Chris and the crew have been doing new lighting in all of the exhibit buildings. Tom's probably told you about that. And then we've got some painting and cleaning we need to do. We're bringing in sand in the rodeo arena. There's a huge debris pile in the south of the rodeo arena that we're having removed, and the boneyard is slowly getting cleaned up. We've got a lot of concrete that we're having to take to the dump.
Concrete?
Yeah, it's like old posts and stuff like that
Oh.
that have been removed over time.
Landfill.
Yeah, we'll take it to the landfill. It does,
Don't
it's
call it the dump, it's a landfill.
landfill. It's kind of expensive, but
You don't have a spot to bury concrete?
I think we're all a little hesitant just in case there's something that gets done with that
Oh,
property
you
towards
have to wait.
Paxton.
Okay.
Fair entertainment, I will tell you, this has been one of the roughest years to try to get headliners. They're so expensive. So we do have an offer in to a headliner. Eric, our rep for Romeo, thinks we have a pretty good shot at getting them. Is there any callers on? Barb?
No, there are no call-in users.
Okay, so it's Tyler Farr. And so we have an offer in to him at 40,000, which is fairly inexpensive compared to everybody else. I mentioned it, the thing on Friday, Zach Top, who's a kid from Yakima, was 10,000. He's got some hits on the radio. Now he's 100,000. Nate Smith's 200,000. To the point, Springfest actually is not doing country entertainment at all because they can't find anybody they can afford that wants to route on the West Coast. That's the other problem, is nobody's routing out here that's in our price range. But we have Tyler Farr. We've already signed Jeremy McComb for Thursday night, which is gonna be good. He's got a show, and he's played at the fairgrounds before, but he's got a show called Honky Tonk Road Show, which is gonna be really good. We have a great Elton impersonator, if you like Elton John. Probably one of the best. He's his band is called When Rock Was Young. Remember When Rock Was Young? You'll look him up on YouTube. He's really good. He's gonna be on Wednesday night, senior night. Nice thing about Elton is he appeals to a large audience. I mean, everybody from in their 70s or even 80s to in their 30s or 40s. Tuesday night, we're gonna bring in the DJ we had last year, DJ Precise. He did a really good job. And then Saturday night, we have 2 Hispanic bands that we've already signed. That'll be really good. And we're gonna do all the concerts except Friday night, the headliner on the Fisher stage this year. Friday night will be the only one that Tyler Farr and the opener will be on the Miller stage. And that'll save us a little bit of money on our sound and lights too, so. And then we will start looking for a campground host, volunteer campground host again here coming up in January. We'll start posting that. And we have already started the process of purchasing a few things from the capital budget, some panels and some tables, but so far that's it. And then we've got our surplus auction that you approved, 3 items, a pickup, a tractor, and a side-by-side Kawasaki that'll go up for auction here in January as well. And we'll start ripping apart the old Azars booth here really quick. I wanna send this to you, Rob, so that you give me a little bit of feedback on the layout, and maybe even show it to Callie. But we're pretty excited about putting that together, and we've already got 2 nonprofits interested in using it. So what we'll do is we'll split up the days of fair so that we can actually have multiple nonprofits use it, and we will provide the menu. So it'll be super simple menu. It's gonna be smash tacos is what it's gonna be.
Okay, so people just run it.
Smash tacos, fries, and a
Okay, so
drink.
people run it and then it's basically the fair.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll pay a commission back to the organization to run it rather than them paying us a commission.
Okay.
And then we'll do the training, purchase the materials and put them in there,
Okay,
but they
so
can
it'll
use it.
be your booth, okay.
Young Life is one, and believe it or not, Knights of Columbus wants to come back and have some time they wanted a booth, and we really didn't have a booth that was ready to go. So,
We got rid of their booths.
yeah, it's the beer garden now, so. Other than that, that's really all I had. We're working on camping for fair for next year, which is gonna be totally online. We did have a discussion about POS systems, and we're gonna work with Clover. Although, Rob, I will tell you, I have never heard back from your contact.
Okay, she did reply to me, so I'll look at that again. I think I gave her all your info.
Okay, and it's the time of year too where people maybe not in the office a lot. So our plan is to have everybody is required to use a POS system, so our reporting gets a little bit better and we're able to track numbers a little better. But we're gonna provide the POS system for some nonprofits that maybe don't know how to do that and then do the training for them. Like Sean Salas, Youth Dynamics, the Catholic Church, Our Lady of Fatima, we'll do it for them. The other one would be, I believe, the Ephrata Lions Club. So we'll plan on doing that.
Okay, so you'll supply the system to them if they don't have it?
And we'll rent it to them, so just to cover our costs, but we'll do the training, Darcy will do the setup. There was some suggestions of adding 5% to the cost or to the commissions if we provide that and do all the training and set it up. And it's a lot of setup because you have to set up every menu item. And we're gonna try to have a system that shows a picture of the item, so it's super simple. So if it's fish and chips, you click on the fish and
But
chips.
setup shouldn't, that seems like a lot for setup, 5%.
It may depend on the organization. 5% on some of the organizations isn't a lot of money.
Okay, but some of them are like could be a little killer. Minimum. If it costs you $200, just that's what it would be.
Then charge them
Yeah,
that, right?
instead of a percentage.
We just track, we can, and maybe the first year what we do is we track the amount of time it takes to set each one up and then charge them accordingly and then decide next year if we wanna just do a commission. If it's not 5%, maybe it's 2.5% or something like that, but it's gonna make it I think more bulletproof so that some of the nonprofits that struggle to provide good numbers because they get so many errors, I think that'll help that. And I'm still not convinced that the numbers that we're getting are correct in a lot of cases. I think sometimes, I know for a fact that some cash sales don't get registered in the POS system, so.
Well, we went to the Utah State Fair
Mhm.
and everybody has to get a receipt. And if you don't give a receipt, your meal is free. It's like, if we fail to give you a receipt, your meal is free. Your meal is on us.
And we did that one year, and I think it was the first, or maybe they did that in 2018, and I think it's a good practice. We just need to get signage that says, hey, and we haven't done audits in a while, where we actually set aside $200 and pay people that they don't know to go do cash sales and make sure, did they register it? You know, there's a whole sheet. Is it in the register? Did they give you a receipt? Did you get exactly what you paid for? Did you see them put it into the POS system? And so I think we'll do that again this
But
year.
I thought
We
the
have-
receipt, and then they have a little garbage can right next to it, so you can throw your receipt in the garbage, because most people don't want it, but
No, it's good.
yeah, it definitely is.
Definitely
Kind of
helps.
And people will be asking for that receipt.
Yeah,
If they-
because if you don't
If you
get it.
forget
then
it, our meal is
it's free,
free, yeah,
yeah.
the meal is on us. If we
Yep.
fail to give you a receipt, the meal is on us.
Other than that, I'm working with Tom on getting the few things together for the safety. I've already talked to Seattle's Finest about staffing police officers during fair, and already sent them a schedule. They'll be from 3 or 4 to midnight or 1 in the morning. 15 officers per day is our goal, and then we'll provide hotel rooms as well if we need to. So I feel good about that. The lighting project Tom's kicking off. The the PA systems Tom's working on, and the cameras. Joe's already purchased the cameras, it sounds like, and installation by Ricky should start pretty soon, so. That's all I got.
Okay, well, thank you, Jim. Rob, do you have anything? Okay, well, hearing none, it is 10:22. We are in recess until. My agenda.
Probably 11, huh?
Thermostat is in this room.
Until 11 o'clock, and we have Shane Hester.
People
Thanks, Rob.
are so they can
See you, Jim. I'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
oh.
But yeah, forward motion.
Good morning. It's 11 o'clock. We are here with Shane Heston for insurance. Monthly insurance update.
Hi, Cindy.
Hopefully, we gotta make sure Rob joins us, otherwise we won't be able to do the meeting.
He is online. He is moving from backstage to the webinar now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for checking. Oh, he's on, so we're ready to go.
We're ready to go, okay. Well, thank you. Today is the claims update. This would be the year end. We finished our first, or sorry, not our first year. We finished up the policy year of 23-24. From a 10-year average, we actually are at average. Our 10-year average for claims reporting is 33.8. This year we finished up, and I got the report here. I was going to show you the claims here. My eyesight's not as good as I'd like. Like it to be, there's a lot on these little spreadsheets.
I know, I saw Tom, I was in his office and he had a huge, I mean, I'm like, that's about the size I need.
This year, though, we had 45 claims, so we were actually over the average. Our best year since I've been
We
tracking.
surpassed a few other counties.
We did. We had 45 claims reported, though. I think some of that, Cindy, is the fact that we're reporting everything now because we're getting some recovery, subrogation on some of those claims. For example, a good one is going to be the snowplow incident that happened yesterday. I mean, should the other person be financially responsible for that?
What happened?
So snowplow collision up on Sagebrush Flats. It was a pretty big headline deal. It was a head-on collision with a snowplow up on Sagebrush at 7:15 yesterday morning. It was pretty massive.
You didn't hear it either.
Clearly, the other party is gonna.
We didn't have an update on our claims yesterday, so obviously. we didn't
Well,
get that one.
it all happened yesterday. I mean, I was
Okay.
literally like, oh my goodness, hope no one's, first thing is like, is everybody okay? We can, anyways. To give you an example, so we're turning in all the claims to get some recovery, and we are gonna do a report on the recoveries. And that's called subrogation in the world of insurance. And I think that's important to track because you're seeing the outgo, you're seeing your deductibles at 50,000 per property, 10,000 per vehicle. You add those together plus your combined insurance expense. I think it's important you as financial managers of the county to see the recoveries back and how the county's risk group is recovering that for you. So that's a report. That's one of my goals this year is to kind of give you more insight into that. But to say that
Commissioners,
we're
I did send that to you via email yesterday.
Okay, thank you, Barb.
Hi, Barb. I keep looking at that screen.
Hi, Shane.
Hi there.
Can you come see me before you leave too, Shane?
Oh, yes, I have reports for you.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. So all that to say is that though this year we were actually trended higher than our average. Our average for 10 years is 33.8. Our best year was 18. Our worst year, I think, was like 52. So we're kind of in the middle range. From a loss standpoint, meaning it's the monetary loss, though, as you know, things do develop after the policy year. This policy year doesn't look too terrible. I mean, we're sitting right here at this is a clean report. Right now, we're only at $353,000. However, as I do in a couple of years, we get lawsuits against this policy year, that number could change. And so what I'm going to hand out right now is the actual current policy year that we just finished.
I know exactly how that works.
Right? And Barb, Rob, and Danny's not online, is he?
No.
Okay. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, is it a ribbon cutting is where he's at, otherwise he'd be here.
Okay, so this is our current activity that actually closed out November 30th of 2024. So there's, the snowplow report actually goes into the new policy year that actually started December the 1st of 2024-25 policy year. So we're gonna be starting a new policy year. So the next report you get next month will be probably just one, or hopefully there's at least one claim on there because I filed it. And I filed a claim this morning. There's actually 2 claims on that, so. We had a little small one filed today, so. But that's where we're at. So I mean, right now you can see the O's, there's a lot of open. There's a lot of open. You don't see any L's, which are litigated. Should that be the case, any open claims will then go to what's called the report. We give you all open claims. We actually run a report of all outstanding claims that are either haven't closed or are in litigated status, or are in the R status, which are reopened, or the S status, which means we're subrogating. And that's what this report is. And currently there's 39 open unfinished claims without counting the ones here. So that's this report here that I'm gonna hand you out.
Thank you.
And this one just kind of gives you a flavor of how things are developing from a current standpoint. These reserves that are posted on here too are actually fairly accurate as well. So you can see that we have an active claims reserve count about almost $4 million outstanding right there. And as things develop, especially in the litigated category, things could change drastically for the better or for the worse. And we do try to give you updates as soon as we know of anything that's developing. Do we have anybody online, Barb?
No, you do not have anybody online, but this is a good time to remind you that the meeting is recorded and will be posted to YouTube later.
Okay, very good. All right, then we'll reserve saying what we're going to say then. All right.
So we got a little thing on the door.
Yep, it is.
Oh, there it is, right there. Okay.
So this is, so to kind of give you a standpoint, and then every once in a while, we will give you we'll do a privilege session or an executive session, then we'll give you kind of a claims scenario of things that are developing, and those meet the criteria for executive session. We do those like once or twice a year. I think we're gonna need to do one of those here, right, probably first quarter when we get the new commissioner on board. There is some developing issues. So. Okay.
Oh, well, now I'm curious. Do I know about these developing issues or?
You do.
Okay.
It's a claim we've previously discussed, yes.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, it's developing today, so, all right. So that is the open claims, and then we're gonna give you policy year 2020 to 2021.
It changes well, as a new commissioner's coming in, you may want to just have an appointment with them and sit down, and go over some of these, because sometimes it's better than in a public meeting.
I would like to do that,
Okay.
yeah. Tomorrow I'm gonna come for Danny's farewell party. I'm assuming Kevin may or may not be here for that. I'm just assuming. If he is,
Don't know.
I do know Kevin personally, and so
Yeah.
I'll reach out to him or make an appointment officially through his office, but I think that's a good idea, and thank you for the
And I
invitation.
would so a heads up, so when he comes in here the first day, it's a little overwhelming when we've only got 4 million here. And
Well, it is, it's like, yeah, cause that's
Yeah.
like, it's
Make a
like,
decision about line 29 now.
Yeah.
well, there's 4 million here, but
Everyone's a heads up, I would just kind of,
you got 10 million on this one here that we're gonna hand out, so I mean, but this is the policy year 2020, 2021, which is the year that we've been watching. Again,
it's a fun year.
just to remind you, the reason we are watching this, the reason we're watching this particular year is because our total limit of insurance is $15 million occurrence aggregate. As you can see, we have 10 million, if I can read that closely, 10,923,000 or 23,000.
Thank you, Shane.
Yes, maybe you can read the small print there. Yeah, put on legal paper this
I put on
time.
my glasses.
I know, I was just telling Tom has a really big piece of paper down in his office and it would just be easier. if
Yeah,
it was just
well, I
like
can
that.
give these to you digitally too, so anyways. So this is the year we're watching, and there are some developing issues, as you can see, if you go to towards the top there, under the general liability category, you can see the column where it says status, the L. We have the we have several claims that meet the criteria, and those are the ones we recently just had an executive session on. And those are currently developing, and there's some active litigation going on as we speak with those, and so those could develop either for better or for worse. Hopefully, if they develop for the better, that number, the $10 million number is going to shrink. But if it doesn't, that number could even go up higher. And the concern is when we run out of insurance at $15 million, then we're at self-insured. Or we figure out some sort of settlement process, or we petition the WRCG and say, hey, you know what, we're a charter member, pick up this. I mean, there's other options, but we would be going into uncharted water at that point. And Cindy, you stand on the board there as a physical officer. I think those discussions have been talked about at the board level of the different 10 counties too. So hopefully we don't get there, but this is why I always bring up a claims report from 4 years ago, because this is a concern for me, and I haven't had this developed before. So this is one that I'm always keeping to your attention. I'm hoping that we can soon, this list is going to shrink. These litigated claims are going to, our policy year 2022 is all going to be Cs, which is closed, and that number is going to be below $15 million. And then we just kind of put that into the sunset. Okay. That's what I have for a claims report, and I will take you up on the.
Apparently we had a snowplow accident yesterday.
Yeah,
I haven't read, yeah.
Saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, it was Sheriff PIO, Ian Reed.
And this wasn't on my calendar, so I just called up Barb to get your extension. I didn't know if you kept it with you, and she's like, oh, he's in an insurance meeting. I'm like, oh.
Caitlin, can we add Tom?
Tom has already been added. I just checked and he is on the list. So I don't know what happened.
All right, I'll look into it. Thanks, Barb. Barb, is Decorah on it also?
I do not believe so. I can add. Well, when
Yeah,
we get next year's meetings on, we can add her.
You just
Like
took a
that.
shot at me, didn't you?
I know.
So we have been sticking to the schedule of the third Tuesday of the month at 11 o'clock. If that continues well for my schedule, I make that a top priority to be here for that, because there's a lot here at stake. I mean, it's a $6 million transaction. There's a lot of activities. Maybe soon we'll get a risk manager on board. That's going to be an engaging process, and then maybe this process we'll streamline. It's going to change. There's going to be some updates and how you get feedback. But
I'm curious, we have 2 applicants, are they?
I haven't looked at them yet.
Oh, okay, you just knew we had 2.
Kurt had said it posted, and there's been some activity on it already, which is exciting.
Yeah.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, unless they're baristas.
Have we selected an interview committee for those positions?
Not yet. Decorah and I were just talking about this.
Okay, I'd like to be sitting on the WRCG.
Yeah.
Or fiscal
Absolutely, yeah.
agency there.
So as far as the county's risk pool goes, Cindy, you sit on there. I was down at Skamania yesterday and onboarded a board member down there. There's a lot of I guess a lot of benefit today from something that was started back in 1998. This pool started in 1998, Had we not had this today, there would be no choice for insurance for public entities, only other than one. So the fact that we have kind of our pool that's structured for kind of the rural, smaller county type mindset business models, we are evolving in Grant County. We're not falling into the Pierce counties, the Whatcom counties, the Skagit counties, which is kind of how the other pools governed. And not that that's bad, but they don't have the same philosophy, And so the fact that every one of the board directors, like Cindy, is actually a voting member. She's actually one of the fiscal officers there. That's a big deal.
And it sometimes is a bonus and sometimes it's not.
Well,
Again, Grant County.
You do get that.
A whole and executive session, city lead, we're talking about Grant County. Well, let me step out.
And to defend Grant County and your position, you got to remember Grant County's the biggest county in this group.
Lately, the one that's been costing the group the most, so.
Well,
I'm glad we're looking for a risk manager.
In risk, you have
coordinator.
good years and bad years. They're going to happen. We just want the bad years.
We're going to highlight the year with 18 claims. We talked about our average claim. We ended, the first report there was the claims year this year, which we ended December 1st, 45 claims. Our 10-year average is 33.8. So we're a little above but we're not
We're better
terrible.
than the 53 that we were.
We're on the high, we're on the low, so we're actually kind of below the highest. The dollar amount on this is really low, but we expect that to develop probably in our average of, probably about 2.5 million is what we would expect this policy year to be, because things develop in the future. So hopefully they don't develop like policy year 2021, but you never know. So okay. That's all I have, Cindy. Tom and
Yeah,
Kurt.
I have an
So-
insurance meeting tomorrow, so.
Yes, yep. All right.
Any questions?
I have no questions unless you have questions for me.
If you got a few minutes, you can chat with me in my office, it'd be great.
I certainly
Not
do.
gonna get in trouble.
I certainly do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is 11:14. We are in recess until 1 o'clock. We have the HR update.
And Barb, I'll bring this up to you.
Hey, thanks for checking on that, Barb. I'll figure out what's going on with
Well,
the
maybe you
calendar.
get to send two. Put Tom on twice. Is the calendar invite?
I'll figure it out.
Okay, good.
Shane, what office are you going to first?
I don't know. Where are you?
I'm just pulling in.
Okay, I can just wait here if you need, Rob.
All right,
Okay.
sounds
Okay.
good.
I'll go to Tom and then I'll go see Barb.
And sorry about grabbing my phone, Shane. I had a pass for the K through and my.
Oh, that's okay.
Whoa. It's colder today.
Oh, man, it's supposed to get tomorrow, but.
Stand outside.
101, we are here.
So is he not finding it?
No, he wasn't finding it yet.
Okay, was the sheriff joining us?
I haven't spoken to him since last week, but I can give him a call.
And she sent it again to him.
Thank
Tony
you.
is now on. Tony, if you can hear us, you are muted.
Or you want somebody unmuted or what? They're all right there.
Yeah.
You have an agenda today?
I do, I put it up at your desk.
He's not muted.
Okay. Tony, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I'm right here.
Perfect. First item on the agenda, I would like to go into executive session to discuss labor relations.
Okay, so how long do we need?
Let's start with 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's why we're.
102 to 112. We are out of executive session. We're going out.
To the process.
Hold on, Tony.
Tony, we're out of executive session. We need to extend it for maybe another 10 minutes.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so we're going back into executive session until 1:22. It would be RCW 4230 144A negotiation. Okay, if we can go back there.
Good time, or are we good to move forward? Does the board need extended time?
I maybe can ask my questions generically.
Okay. Tony, can you answer generically?
Are we on the record?
We're out of executive session. Yeah.
Still 5 minutes more.
Well, I would extend the executive session by at least 15 minutes, if not 20.
Okay, so we're gonna go back.
Let's do 10.
Okay, we're gonna do 10 minutes. We'll try to keep it brief. So it'll be 1:32. Again, RCW negotiations 4230 144A. So 10 minutes to 1:32. The executive session. Okay, we are out of executive session. I think we have our direction, unfortunately.
I will say that I understand what Tony's saying, but if funds like that are put in another account, I'd be shocked if the word didn't get out that that money was put in another account.
But then at that point, it's the board's direction and instruction that moves that money to where they would like.
And then we also get into the point of, so
better
if you
do the
have
budget.
people that are sharing confidential information about the financial processes of the budget out into the world, are there ever gonna be any ramifications? Because there haven't been so far.
so.
I would hope so as well. Okay. So we have the board's direction.
I think unfortunately, we're moving forward with the proposal.
Okay. Thank you. I have two parts.
That was only me, Danny, Rob.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just go right over the top
No,
of
I'm
you
trying to
two.
make
Speak
sure
up, guys,
because
sorry.
This has been a problem. Danny, I need your,
Rob was nodding yes.
is that a yes, Rob?
Yeah, because it gets the deal done, it takes away all the other negotiation stuff, and I'd say we need to really put this in our brain for next year.
Okay,
And just because I can, I'm saying no. It just fries my,
Yeah.
but I know it's gonna pass. I'm a
Fight a good
go with
fight.
it, but just for principle, I'm just.
I would like to make a suggestion, Rob, Cindy, anyone?
Yes.
That as a follow-up to this, that there is something that is documented from the board, identifying that prior to the next budget session, you are going to schedule time to sit down with your chief financial and your HR person to work through the budget process?
Could that go into the minutes of this meeting right now and?
It can, although if you don't share it with anybody, you know, one hand clapping. It didn't exist. I mean, part of it is to start that conversation to say that the budgetary process works really for the Board of County Commissioners to get your main function of your jobs done. And what I observe is the board being very passive toward, they're gonna figure out what works for us, and then when they don't, you kind of scratch your heads like, that didn't work well. Well, what did you tell them? Nothing, because the viewpoint is it's none of your business how the budget works. It's the auditors. So you're either gonna stand up and take responsibility for it and control it, or you're not.
So just hypothetically, did I understand that the majority of the board has directed me to proceed with our original maximum guidelines for the package that we will be presenting to the mediator and the association? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then I echo respectfully to the board Kirk's remarks about, I think it's really important that the board be absolutely firm on not addressing the topics that we've already talked about. And so the concept of having the HR director involved with your budget process is excellent. I mean, that in most of the other counties and cities and other public sector employers, my experience is that's what has happened. And so we don't end up with the challenges that we have periodically. So I thank you. I thank you for your time. I thank you for the authority. I'm sorry about, what's created issues, but bottom line is I think we can resolve them, and you will be in a very excellent position for the next go around, and you can certainly be quite firm.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you,
Tony.
Tony.
We appreciate you.
Have a great day and happy holidays.
You
You
too.
as well.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And I would say, Kirk, yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. It's just coming into this, I'm just thinking about the last, 3 or 4 budgets, whatever, how many I've been involved in. Really trying to get in and dig in on the numbers to begin with and thinking the process was already somebody else's deal, right? And then learning exactly where we've gotten today here, and I just wish we'd have known and understood that earlier. This is very frustrating.
I got it. Okay, Jakar, I'm gonna give you back your time, so we'll try to speed through not speed through, but
Okay.
get through our Agenda.
Two pars, item 2 and 3. The first one is the par, I'll bring them both up for you. The first part is for the new commissioner coming on first of the year. Somebody else start with.
I didn't know your powers for commissioners, but never thought about it.
Was presented by the clerk of the board and asked that I bring it, so
Spot on.
she's on it.
And then let our new commissioner know that elected officials, you don't have to wait the 60 or 90 days for insurance. Our HR director told me I had to, so I kept insurance for 3 months, and then it's like, no, elected officials, you don't have to.
And then the second part is for development services. I believe has been discussed.
Yep, yesterday. And Gina, Dan, you're okay with these numbers?
Yes, I, Deborah, do you have them?
I have what?
Yeah.
Just wanted to ensure that you
numbers?
guys were all.
Oh.
Have them right
Okay,
here.
yeah, I just want to make sure you're.
Did you want to see
No,
that number?
I trust them, I just want to make sure.
Okay.
And I assumed that they were on board, I just wanted to, in case there were any.
Yes, and like
Not that there
Deborah,
ever would be.
like Deborah said, we have a copy, so if you want to see that.
Yes.
Asking that Gina and Dan were involved, that's all I needed to know.
Good. Fourth item, thank you for those. Fourth item is position reclassification. Last week, we talked about having a meeting scheduled to go line by line, item by item, the positions, reclassifications that have been requested by other departments. I do believe that we attempted to get something scheduled last week and talked to clerk of the board and Kirk this morning. And the hope is to get it done before the end of the year.
Next week.
It would be I think that there is time available on the 31st, at least for the board. I will be out and Gina has, unbeknownst to her, graciously taken.
She's been voluntold.
Yes, while I am out. However, if the board, we do have time this week if the board has time to do it as well this week, so.
Okay, we do have, I just brought it upstairs, but you gave it to it, we were just trying to figure out where it came from, and Dan was asking, and I'm like, I think it was HR, I'm not quite sure, but we will review it, we will be ready to go over it on the 31st. And then while we're talking about the travel policy, are you waiting for us to post the travel policy? Do you want us to?
The travel policy is in the queue for to be reviewed next year. I do, however, last week I brought forward the records retention policy from the PA that I gave each of you a copy to review. Were there any edits?
We will be ready to discuss this on the 31st. We will do our homework.
Okay.
Right, board? Before the 31st, so there's no.
For the retention policy?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will hold it until the 31st, because otherwise I have it prepared.
Oh,
ready for you to sign.
I thought you wanted us to, do it on the 31st.
I reviewed it when Kevin first gave it to us, and so I don't have any questions over where we're at.
Okay.
I thought it was well done.
Yeah. Nothing has changed other than it's put in the format, so.
Okay. Are we ready to sign, or we want to wait till next week? Rob?
I'm good too, it was a while ago.
You're good to sign or
Yeah.
good to? Okay.
It's been-
So I guess we're good to
I
sign.
haven't even looked at it for a while.
Okay.
Decorah, can I just confirm? I thought that the board had already approved the travel policy. It just wasn't updated on the website.
Email,
I'm looking right now.
was just really a change of from 30 days to
The
45.
1,200 and the 1,600 aren't on the website, but I believe, oh, it was the 1,600 that the board, I think, approved, not the 1,200. I apologize. Okay, so we're just waiting for the
Then we also have a
1,600 to
discussion
get posted.
on the travel, if you don't take travel that you will be responsible for.
90 days, clear your devices.
Which does bring me to the topic that we had briefly touched on earlier this year is how does the board want us to present policies that are being updated? We talked about sending them via email, you reviewing, and then scheduling a meeting, a designated meeting for policy review. Is that something that you still
Well, I don't know
wish
if
to
we
proceed
really
with?
need a designated meeting. I think we have issues, we'll bring it to you, or if you're the gatekeeper of it. Some of them I think we're okay with, we don't need to have another meeting. I don't, but Rob, Danny.
I mean, if you would like another meeting over it, then I would do one.
I think it depends on how many changes there are in a policy. I don't know that it necessarily needs to be every single policy as we update them. Some of the larger policies, it may be beneficial to sit down, go through and discuss changes. So, but we will send them to you. So what I hear you saying is
pretty minor.
we will forward them to you via email. We'll bring them to our meetings. If there's a lot of discussion needed about a policy, then we'll schedule a special meeting.
Perfect.
Okay.
So what to say, whatever suits your fancy. It's a great idea.
We did state
Yes.
a few moments ago that you could meet this week instead of on the 31st for this position reclassifications, position control meeting. Really the only time it looks like to me where we could get together would be Thursday. Rob has a meeting at 10. Is that a CBSWC board meeting somewhere else, Rob, or is that online?
It's in person and online. The other thing I have that day though is you should get a workshop on what you do, but
Who?
you.
Yeah, and then in the afternoon I do.
But I also have NACO leadership training that day. And I don't know what time it's at yet.
Okay. Because we would have to advertise it, and we couldn't do it tomorrow because it'd have to be advertised, you know. But Thursday would be a possibility. I'm out Friday. But after 4, I'd be available, and maybe Rob would too, between 4 and 5, or in the morning before that. I don't know. Depends on when your NACO thing is.
It'll be between 8 and 1. I don't know what time it usually takes an hour and a half.
So it looks like the only time available will be out 4 to 5 on Thursday. If you wanted to do it, get it done before the 31st.
If that was your desire, I could come on Thursday.
Cindy, how about you?
I can make it work. I mean, I'm calling.
I am fine with the 31st.
Okay.
I won't be
You're
here,
sticking
but
with the 31st.
Gina
Okay.
is, or we could do it this week, whatever the board really would like to do. We would just like to get it done before the first of the year, so there isn't concern from department heads and electeds that things are being bogged down.
Barbara, I see Brett Hill is updating us right smack in the middle of where that position control discussion is scheduled between 9 and 11.
I have an email into him asking him if I could change his meeting. I haven't heard back yet.
So right now it's on the calendar for 9 to 11.
I think we should leave it the day that it'll be advertised and not put an emergency meeting in. It just will look a little better. Rob, Danny?
On 31st?
Yeah, skip it on the 31st. As we originally.
Yeah, I just don't want it after the
Positions?
commissioners meeting. I'm good with it at 9 in the morning, but after the commissioners meeting, I'm driving to the coast, so.
I'm just trying to keep we've got 13 minutes left to get through the
Okay.
board's budget.
Decorah,
Yes.
a question for you. Is it okay just then to plan on the 31st, or does it take some pressure off HR if some announcement from the board that is when they're gonna take a look at those and that there'll be no information out until.
I do think that it would be helpful if an announcement came out from the board
Okay.
saying
And I'm gonna draft something up and send it to you guys for consideration to send out. And the goal is to just, people don't listen when it comes to the budget process, and they will continue to hammer on their HR reps of, why aren't you doing this? Well, as we told you, because nothing's going to happen until this happens, and then we'll let you know what happens.
Well, what ties into that, Kurt, do you have an idea of when we might be moving forward with our, we have the RFP, I think we can release the one that we have for the, salary survey, do you know?
Planning on here soon, I've started reviewing the data that you sent me.
Okay, well, I think if we can, maybe we can discuss on the 31st, that we have a date that maybe we're gonna start, I think that will definitely, because some of those will be fixed during that. I just wanna make sure we have a, to coincide. Thank you, Kurt.
Okay, number 6, the risk and safety coordinator. Do we have a location in which that person will be placed upon hire?
Not yet.
Where that
How soon?
it's been posted, first review will be in about a week and a half. So depending on how many candidates we have in a week and a half time. And if there is a
2-week notifying their employer.
Yeah, so
about
a month out.
I'd give up mine until we had a new space.
I'm sorry?
So I would give up mine until we had additional space. I spend most of my time right here, so.
Are we anticipating something occurring that's gonna create additional space?
I mean, someday that building across the road will be done. So, I mean, Jerry had my office for 6 or 8 months. Didn't really matter.
Did you skip over 5 intentionally?
That was the retention policy.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the discussion,
Oh,
their hiring issues.
oh,
Got it.
yeah, different retention policy. Yes. Also under number 6, is there a commissioner going to be involved, or I would encourage a commissioner to be involved in the hiring process and the hiring committee?
I will, since I'm on the WCRG.
We're gonna do multiple, like the last
Do we
couple,
want
or?
all commissioners involved? That might be a position where
Could be.
all commissioners could be involved.
We talked about who would be good on a committee. And we talked about doing the possibility of doing 2 rounds of interviews for candidates. Do you have any?
I don't have any
You don't have any
direct
thoughts?
thought
Okay.
at this moment.
Okay.
We can do the commissioners. They're gonna be working under HR. No, they're gonna be working under Kurt, so Kurt better be in HR. We have 5 or 6.
Others, we thought it would be Kirk, myself, Tom, and then one of the board members. We also discussed bringing in possibly somebody from the sheriff or a designee from him. He is they have a lot of risk and liability, so it might be good to have their input along with Public Works. So, and we can get that narrowed down, but.
And I also chatted today with Shane to see if he would be interested in participating, since he's gonna see things from his viewpoint. Now it's just a question of whether we're gonna do a monster panel of 20 people.
Well, you put the monster panel out and then only 4 can make it. That's usually how it works.
Okay. And then I am going to hold number 7 for our next meeting. Because we won't have time to get through that.
Is this minimum wage for?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll hold that one, and then 8 and 9, that can also be discussed on the 31st. Those are just current exempt positions that have been requested.
I got a call from the coroner's office, and we can discuss this on the 31st as well, but he has an employee who will be going out to FMLA. And so he was wondering if he would be getting a new employee, should he? Apparently when you're looking for somebody to work in the coroner's office, it's just a little more difficult than putting a one ad in the newspaper, so you kind of have to start looking, so I guess he was just, they won't be going out until March, because it just takes a while to recruit, so the sooner he can get that information, the better. Anything else for Dakar? Dakar, I was trying to.
Thank you. We did good.
I have a really important question, if there's nothing else.
Yep.
How do you put that little mark above N in your last name, Gina? I can't figure out how that happens.
Control Alt 164 is the code.
Control S.
Control Alt.
164?
164 is the command.
Oh, I would never figure that out.
I wouldn't either.
Danny, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I wanted to remind you or maybe bring it up, the Eastern Washington Council of Governments.
Yes,
clerk.
thank you. Before the new year, we need to find out how it would work to, Eastern Washington Council of Government needs a clerk. So it'd be a part-time operation for somebody, and Caitlin is like the only one in all of Eastern Washington who has said, I'd be willing to do it. But when I first proposed it, I thought it was like, okay, this is gonna be a little extra pay for you. But others are going, well, no, because it would be doing it during time she's in the office and all that. We need some answers on how it would be possible to, for her to do this and how it works with HR.
We received your email. We've been looking at researching, thank you, that's what I was looking for. We've been researching, so we just don't have any information today,
Okay,
but it's on our radar.
it's on the radar.
Yes.
Because I think the Eastern Washington Council of Governments' first meeting is the end of January. So it has to be, we have to all conclude whether the Caitlin can do this and how it will work.
Okay.
Early, very early in January.
What was the name of
Enough said, Caitlin?
Sorry?
That kind of, that's where we need to go, right?
Yeah.
What was the acronym for the group?
EWCOG, Eastern Washington Council of Government.
Thank you.
One of our commissioners will serve on that and, on that.
Do you guys get extra pay?
No, but the rewards are out of this world.
Oh, you get to pay $5 for pizza or $6.
Oh, I'd do it for that,
Get a
absolutely.
$5 pizza, yeah.
It's an expensive
And a
pizza.
lot of headaches talking about wolves and cougars and dams and Superfund sites of the Columbia River, which is just irking the dickens out of me right now. Because they did designate Lake Roosevelt as a Superfund site. So watch out.
Okay, it is 1:57, if that is it, and we are in recess until 2:00 when we have our commissioners meeting.
Thank you.
By the way, that wasn't the Eastern Washington Council of Government did that, that's the EPA. And the Eastern Washington Council of Government was confronting them about it, and fighting it.
Well, you said dam, which reminded me of a joke. What did the fish say when he ran into the wall?
What did the fish say when he ran into a wall? Bullhead trout?
Dam.
Oh, you walked right into that one, Danny.
No N at the end,
Wasn't Grand Coulee Dam?
probably. Priest Rapids.
Actually, if it was a salmon,
Yeah,
I could say it's Chief Joseph Dam, because that's where they stopped, right there.
yes, yes. What's
Can't get any
the,
further.
in Leavenworth, they have the salmon festival. Is there a dam up there? Yeah.
That I don't
Where at?
think so. Leavenworth? I don't think that there's a dam in
The
Leavenworth.
closest one would be the,
There's Icicle River Dam. There's passage, or there's small,
I think it's that one, that's.
yeah. They've actually been working on fish passage on all those dams up the Icicle. In fact, there's one way up in the mountains they had to repair recently. It was built in 39 or something
Oh,
like that.
gosh.
Had some wood in it.
Oh.
Fascinating. Yeah, well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, plug me too.
Dan, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, Dan's like, I'm tired of this mom.
We gotta
Whoops.
So, you ready? I'll follow you back.
Thanks for joining.
Sure. Bye, guys.
You guys didn't like
Thank
that joke? Thought it was a funny joke.
Oh, now I see it. It didn't come through my email as a,
Hello, sir.
Oh, time to meet stuff.
See you later.
He's the only applicant. I'm surprised you haven't jumped in on something like that.
I used to go to those meetings years ago. Very frustrating.
Thanks for reminding me.
You know what's frustrating is how they assess. I have
On top of
5 parcels that are 15 feet wide that equal one larger part, might be 6 parcels, but each one has the irrigation assessment on it. So each one is like $700 assessed tax.
What benefit do you get out of that?
0. Doesn't even have water, just empty field, like empty
It's like
lot.
mine. I'm assessed too, and I get nothing out of it either, except for the.
So each lot is assessed at that amount.
Yeah.
okay, good afternoon. It is 2:00. We are here for the Commissioners Roundtable. Welcome. This is kind of the review of the consent agenda items. Any questions on the consent agenda? Wait, I'm on the wrong day, I have way too many notes, I'm getting my dates mixed up, I have too many notes on yesterday's, it looks the same. 2:00, we're here for the Commissioners meeting, call the meeting to order. We have a 3-minute per person open forum for citizens, a 50-minute time limit, if there's anybody who would like to make a comment. Jerome, if you want to come to our lovely pulpit.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'd like to speak to item 7 on your agenda today. My understanding that Sam Dart is in for consideration for that appointment. I'd like to strongly voice that I think he'd be an excellent person for this position for that type. He has a mentality, has a skill set, and the ability to handle those kind of jobs very well. That's all I had for you today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I concur with you on that appointment. Any other public comment? Barb, do we have any callers, or Caitlin? No, Caitlin, you're down here. You're still online. You're in 2
We
places.
do have 2 call-in users. I'm gonna allow each of them to speak. We have a B guest. Would you like to have any public comment today? B. There is none, and our next one is Jim M. Jim M, do you have public comment today? Okay, that would be no.
Hearing none,
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
there's been a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The agenda has been approved. Correspondence, do we have any emails or letters of support? Barb, do you have any letters?
I do. Sorry, keep losing my mouse on this screen. The board received an email from Revitalize Ephrata last week wanting to talk about if the county and other entities could put in some money towards their organization. Danny, do you recall seeing that email? And I think Danny and Cindy, you're on there because you're the.
Yes, I looked at that. I read the complete email today earlier and recognized the fact that they recognized the county and the EDC really couldn't contribute to something like that, and it's acknowledged in the letter, so that they were actually asking for the 5 remaining entities to help pony up on that. So I don't think that letter was meant to ask us. They just sent it to us FYI based on what they had sent to everybody else.
Perfect. And then the second thing I just wanted to say, I did send the email off to Kevin Overbay about the regional diversion contracts, and I've not heard back, unless Cindy, you've heard back from him.
I have not.
Okay.
Okay. Is that it, Barb?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Moving down to the Commissioners Roundtable for miscellaneous discussion.
I would like to discuss number 2. It seems to me that what we're being asked to sign.
We need to remove it. It shouldn't be on our agenda. So that should have been removed. We just need to remove it.
And I also would suggest that because we have a meeting scheduled to go over final decisions on our ARPA, that hold number 3.
Well, I want to verify number 2. I thought we signed number 2 last week. We took care of number 2 last week.
So number 2 is a remove.
I'd said yesterday that I had reached out to Decorah and Michelle about whether or not I should remove it, because Barb and I agreed that was maybe not our place to just remove something.
It shouldn't go on our consent. We don't put them on the consent agenda.
I didn't know that. We didn't know that.
Fine.
We had reached out asking because it said standard process, and so I emailed Decorah and Michelle and said, am I okay to remove this from consent? And I did not get a response before we needed to finalize it. So Barb and I agreed we didn't want to just take something out and then find out later it should have been, so we just left it there.
Because we should be signing those during our HRMD.
Right.
I had 3, Barb, I had 3 suggested corrections to the minutes. Did we get those changed?
Yes, sir. They've been inserted into the new minutes and the table.
Super, thank you.
Okay, on number 9, the LTAC grant for Royal City Summerfest, I will abstain from that as I am a part of the Summerfest committee.
I attended the ribbon cutting for the Cooley City Medical Clinic and their library. It was well attended with Alex Ibarra there. The EDC was represented. Their whole commission was there. I was there. The hospital, Cooley Medical Center, was well represented because they run the clinic there. The Northeast Washington Library was represented too, because they're gonna be a part of that library that's there. And I spoke on your behalf to congratulate them on all the work they put in and congratulate the chair of the Port Commission, all the work they put in 10 years to see this thing come to completion. And he told us that they're gonna start another round trying to build in the lot right next to it, because eventually they want the whole
the whole building that they have now to eventually become a thing for mental health and meeting the needs of the elderly and other things like that. And they want to actually build an actual library next door. This is eventually in their plans somewhere down the road. But it was very nice, and so I gave them congratulations on all of our behalf.
Thank you. Okay, anything else? Well, that concludes the roundtable portion of it. I'm looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I moved to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 24, except removing number 2 and holding number 3 and acknowledging the chair's abstention on number 9.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 24, removing number 2, holding number 3, and I will be abstaining from number 9. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. But I will be abstaining for number 9. That concludes our consent agenda. Now we
Walk-ons?
Oh, that's right. Darn it. And they're right here in bold. We do have 2 walk-ons. We have a walk-on from Public Works for the Grape and Maple. It is grant funded. And number 2, we have a walk-on for the Moses Lake reallotment for ARPA.
Not a walk-on, but I've got some questions about some invoices we received.
And what was the allotment one?
I don't have that one.
Danny, I have, it was to be a walk-on. Do we need it to be a walk-on?
I think there was discussion about there might be a walk-on.
Oh.
For the letter of the.
I show it as walk-on number 2, but I can.
Oh, you talking about a letter to, we are in discussion with the prosecuting attorney's office on how to word that.
Okay, so
And
that is not a walk-on.
I don't have a prepared letter right now. In fact, my last communication with the chief deputy prosecuting attorney was to maybe remove any reference to the Treasury Department. And she suggested that Carrie converse with Treasury about the process. And so we're in the midst of expecting the Treasury will put that at the top of the list, at least they responded back that they would move it forward quickly.
Okay.
So I assume that that'll be next Monday's agenda. Yeah.
Okay, so there's only one walk-on, Public Works, the Grape and Maple grant funded project. For a motion to approve that walk-on?
Yes. We don't have much detail announced, but it was an extension of the project in order to utilize grant funding into 2025 to continue the project. So I move to approve as presented.
Yeah, second.
There's been a motion, a second to approve the Public Works Grape and Maple walk-on. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The Grape and Maple project has been approved.
Madam Chair, I would like to just get into the minutes that the way that number 13 was written up in our list, our motion to approve number 13 should be seen as a denial of that under our moratorium.
Okay, so, Tom, just a minute, we can answer your question. Okay. Number 13, as we've approved, the recommendation was to not deny it. So as approving number 13 would be the approval to deny it. So we will be denying number 13. Just for clarification. Do you want to think about it?
I've got one, so I've just got to tickle on the back of it.
Okay, I guess we need to get signing.
And
Oh, Tom, you had a question.
Just, yeah, so the Professional Leadership Academy, invoicing coming in for that. There were 3, I understand were being billed to the Commissioner's office, which was Kevin Burgess, Cindy Carter, Commissioner Cindy Carter, and Kirk Eslinger. Everybody else was on the hook for their own, correct? You had mentioned you had a budget for some training.
We have a training budget for something like this, so the training should be done, that should fall under, it was for, the wage, when we do the salary survey and training, so we have a rather attractive.
So would you like me to forward all of those invoices to you then?
Okay. Sure.
Okay, now give me those back.
That can't be my decision, Rob, Danny.
No, I think you should on this NACO leadership training, that we should pay with that training account.
Yeah. Okay.
And allow the
We never turned that
departments.
into our actual office and training.
Yeah, and I think we had discussion, we had discussion that we could use that training budget, the countywide training budget that we set aside.
And I've already taken care of it for my staff, so that includes all of GCTS.
Well, you
myself.
could get a reimbursement when you run out of money at the end of the year.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Can I ask a question? I was up here talking with Kirk. I apologize. Caitlin, help me remember. So item 13 for the cannabis, the board made the decision to not vote on the recommendation, but to vote on the document. So you do need in your motion to deny 13. You're not approving the recommendation, you're denying the document. Do you recall it that way, Caitlin?
So we're still in session. So Danny, on item number 13.
I'll make a motion to rescind our decision on the consent agenda.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to rescind the decision on the consent agenda, or the motion. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Make a new motion, Madam Chair, to
I'm looking
to
for,
approve items 1 through 24, removing 22, holding number 3,
just a minute, removing 22.
sorry, 2, removing 2, holding 3, noting the abstention by Cindy on number 9, and denying number 13.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 24, removing number 2, holding number 3. I will be abstaining from number 9 and denying number 13. Any discussion?
Are you holding number 3 for 1 week or 2 weeks?
1.
Holding number 3 for 1 week. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The consent agenda has been approved.
And I'll apologize for missing that one.
I apologize. We've gone back and forth a few times. That's the last I recalled that the board decided.
Yeah, you're correct, Barb. It's better to do it the right way.
Well, thank you, Jen, for joining us.
Anyway, so
We're missing a few that I can come to prior to that.
2 weeks of minutes, November 18th and 25th. There should be a sign.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Request from the mosquito control.
It's towards the end of the year, there's not a lot going on.
I had some of those in my mind. Just trying to.
This is that contract for Cooley Diego. That we signed. This is the recommended appointment for.
For the most like irrigation and rehabilitation district, position on the board. Expired terms or so.
Oh, I didn't.
Recommended appointment for the VAB.
Yes.
Public works director.
in the ones for here, one for two.
So it's the LTAC grant agreement.
They had a moratorium in place for a couple of years for any cannabis changes. That's what it was.
Reimbursement request from the city of Moses Lake. Reimbursement request from
This road.
reimbursement request from both.
Did you have your iPad?
I do.
Just show them the share.
Oh, yeah.
So it is, it looks like to me it's one company is selling to another company. So,
So you're the nine.
oh yeah, this moratorium.
D9.
I spoke to this a couple times. So initially.
Professional services agreement between Grant County and
He said
Measurement,
that
two separate words.
he's concerned about it.
Organization, board representatives.
Oh, Barb's,
Psychology.
which one was it?
Well, you're choosing between this one.
Oh, I like that one. It doesn't really matter, I would go with
Says problems with
whatever, I'm okay with.
the influence of masses of attorneys to deal with that.
Let Danny decide.
You're okay with whatever, then we're
For
gonna go
DS.
public client.
For the DS.
Yeah. Now that you're leaving, we're gonna get good chairs.
Pick the worst one, Jenny.
Pick the same one, let them.
Since you're on the way out.
Really?
Okay.
The ones are just not very comfortable, and mine feels like you're sliding, you know. I think that Mexican restaurant down here, the chairs are, like you don't sit in them, it's like the back end chairs are higher, the back legs are higher than the front legs.
Contract with the alley
They want
crushing
you to
their
lean over and
pouches.
slide.
You want your hurry and get out, hurry and eat and move.
Look, it's all about it. So, you know what I'm saying?
Bit more like a back door.
Say this way, this Said it was based on.
I was trying to, hurry up to charge them so that they can get in this year's budget.
Yeah,
They
that's
might have
today.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
We can work with Sweet Magic. And my pants are extremely tight today, thanks to the candy yesterday, I ate most of it. True
Approval
story.
transfer items from revenue to just PS. So lease, renew, and all rentals.
There's two restricted.
Right, so.
And those people stay there.
And thank you for doing the billing on that leadership. That's awesome. That helps a
Yeah,
lot of,
sorry,
that
you
helps a
didn't-
lot of people.
You,
No, I'm not sorry, it's okay. We had it in our training budget, so.
Still there.
Amended out-of-state travel request,
Some of them don't have it in there, so.
I believe in one day it will be.
That's awesome.
The SHOT Show sounds like a pretty
Sketchy.
important trip to the sheriff's office.
They have a couple, they have several.
The SHOT Show?
I'll show, learn how to shoot. Is
No, so he's going with the guns.
that really what it is?
Oh, what?
I thought it was for shooting.
No, that's where he's going, literally just walk around Vegas looking at the new guns that came
I'd
out.
be the coolest gun
It's
show
not a
you'll probably
training?
ever go to.
And that.
SHOT Show.
So out-of-state travel request for INET, team,
They're
partners.
against it, one area can get to us, pay the county.
Nice little benefit for him.
They have
They got
issues.
stuff there too.
Oh, they have the coolest stuff at the SHOT Show.
Yeah.
Everything you could dream of. They probably have tanks on display.
Out-of-state travel request for sergeant.
Do they have burnout?
Can you drive the tanks? Can you test drive them?
No.
Found a guy on YouTube that's got like these spiked grenades that he can throw.
There's the crop is growing.
They're actual grenades.
Technicality.
They got spikes attached to them, so wherever you throw them, they stick. He throws them against refrigerators out in the desert.
Says,
Cars.
is requesting permission to sign.
I haven't seen that in the movie. Are you sure it's for real?
Yeah, well, if you see that Mini Cooper after a grenade goes off in it, you know it's real.
Purchase order.
Pretty much
to
blows it up.
Yeah, I didn't know they had something that was stick.
Yeah, interesting.
They've
It's
got
in the
everything.
movies, it always hits and bounces and rolls right next to the person who threw it.
Or he'll drop a grenade in a washing machine, turn around and run. And then all of a sudden the washing machine blows up and you see him running because all of the parts are flying directly at him.
Is your family close by?
One of the guys on YouTube that used to do that got banned.
Okay, it
This
is
guy's in Nevada.
12:23. We are in recess until.
Buy anything.
That's fun.
We went up to.
Come down.
That'll pay dividends.